Psych! To Doctor Who exactly. This is art. The Empress of Mars probably isn't. Hello and welcome to me having my video camera back and a functional laptop. This is absolutely brilliant. Noticed that when I was recording on my tablet that I actually managed to string along more coherent sentences instead of doing a very mishmash thing that I normally do, where I practice one line, say the line, and then awkwardly tried to put it somewhere where it sounds natural. So yeah, clouds, silver linings, all that's fantastic. I hope I found a little bit more confidence in the way I say things, and maybe I'll just ramble just a little bit less and I may sound like an actual human being when that be the day. Anyway, welcome back to Doctor Who Exactly, which is my video blog thing I do about Doctor Who. This week sees the Empress of Mars. This is a Mark Gatiss penned episode, and if you know Mark Gatiss, like I know Mark Gatiss, you know, personally, on a personal level, we hang out all the time because he's just a fantastic blog. He writes some of the more, you know, the fandom doesn't really seem to like him. They often bring up things like the robot of Sherwood and, well, things like that, but he's also penned Cold War, and he's behind Crimson Horror, and I really like those episodes. Like, they probably won't go down in history as the most perfectly written Doctor Who episodes ever, but 9 out of 10 times I find stuff that he's done perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. Like 7 out of 10 if you love those numerical ratings based on 1 to 10. So Mark Gatiss wrote Cold War, and he obviously must have low-key loved the Ice Warriors, seeing as his last chance under Stephen Moffat, because Chris Chibnall was apparently going with a different kind of writing team. So instead of doing a sequel to Sleep No More, which means we'll probably never see the conclusion to Sleep No More, Mark Gatiss took his last shot at the Ice Warriors, bringing Victorian soldiers to Mars to fight the Ice Warriors. And just an odd mash of concept, you know, A plus green equals 72. I love the concept. It's great. It's oddball. It's like, how do you even come up with Victorian soldiers on Mars? What follows is what kind of feels like a very basic base on the siege, except for the fact that the base is on another planet and the human beings are the invading aliens here. The Martians, the Ice Warriors, aren't very nice, but they're not, you know, the aggressors in this instance. The Dr. Bill and Nardole, they very quickly get separated because Bill falls down a hole, and then Nardole goes back to the TARDIS, but he winds up back on Earth. For some reason, Deus Ex Machina. Well, every now and then you need to have a Deus Ex Machina, I suppose, or Diabolus Ex Machina if you're so inclined. So the Doctor and Bill get separated, but very soon they're meeting up again, and we're seeing these Victorian soldiers, and they all have very unique names. It's like a 17-year-old girl, no offense towards 17-year-old girls, writing stuff like, well, bugger me, it sounds like J.K. Rowling fanfiction. Catchlove, Jackdaw, Luna Lovegood. Is there a Lovegood in the episode? There could have been. Anyway, these soldiers are accompanied by an Ice Warrior which they've nicknamed Friday, because, yeah, that's not making this subtle at all that it's an allegory or anything. So Friday goes to seek out his Empress, who's enshrined in a tomb, and because aliens are very tough to kill in Doctor Who, she's still alive. So she resurrects, and what follows is just a bunch of ice warriors killing a bunch of Victorian soldiers by making them into like vaguely pencil ball shaped people via laser guns. Now, Doctor Who is a kids show or a family show, so they can't really have too much blood and gore. So with the Zygons, they decided to electrocute people until they're left with a sticky webby form of ash. But the Ice Warriors turning people into what essentially boils down to, you know, a contortionist nightmare. Okay, it works because you see this, you know, where the people died, but I wasn't wholly convinced by it. Like, they could have probably thought of something better. Of course, in the fighting, Bill and Friday, they decide that there has to be a better way, because there always has to be a better way. The coward that wasn't a coward is a coward. The coward that is a coward turns out not to be a coward, if you like to have your plot summaries not very spoiled. So, on the whole, I like the characters, I like the bad guys, I like the Ice Warriors, and the only thing that disappoints me is that at one point they have the chance to make the Ice Warriors have like this alien, you know, set of standards. I really wish that the Queen had killed the Colonel in the end, but spared the lives of all the other soldiers. That would have made it a very bittersweet ending. Instead, we just get like a decent ending, I suppose, because the Queen is impressed with the Colonel's, you know, bravery to sacrifice his life for the life of his men, so she doesn't kill him. Okay. Anyway, the episode ends and we get a cameo, and I went nuts over this. The Third Doctor is one of my favourite Doctors out there, and the fact that they referenced one of his stories and had Alpha Centauri cameo, and they had the same voice actress. I'd never even seen those things before I was a functional adult, so they were not youth sentiment or anything, but I squealed like a little fanboy. I bloody well love that. Anyway, I really like this. I'm happy because I didn't like last week's episode. And up next is The Eaters of Light, which is penned by the very same lady that did the very last episode of the old Doctor Who series before it got cancelled, Survival. And I'm chuffed that they got one of the older writers of Doctor Who to come back and write a story for the new series. Imagine writing the last story of Doctor Who ever, and the budget can only afford like green screen backgrounds and shots in some kind of a desert, which is just somewhere in Spain, and cheetah fursuits, and now you're writing 20 years later and it's the same show, uncancelled, but with giant CGI monsters. It must be great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I can understand if you don't, because like I said, it's very basic and it doesn't tick everybody's boxes, but you know, on the whole, I have positive vibes about this. Anyway, I have social medias. Please do not follow me on any of them. Don't like my page on Facebook. Don't follow me on Twitter. Don't check my Tumblr. I have a LinkedIn, but that's just for my closest friends. I think, of all things, you should check out, you know, my Goodreads, because, yeah,